Hi, my name is Ashton Edwards, and today I'd like to do my formal presentation on the hidden costs of organizational dishonesty. Now, there are two main reasons why these costs are so detrimental to an unethical business. The first being is that dishonesty, once accepted within the organization at any level, will grow and spread like a tumor, and it will be extremely difficult to contain once it is let into the organization. And two, it is extremely difficult for management and decision makers to make good, profitable, long-term decisions if they're using bad or false accounting or HR information that came from acting dishonest. Long-term dishonesty is a business destroyer, but these unethical businesses think that by acting this way, they're going to have short-term gains, and they typically are not thinking on the long term, which is what we know as being important in the open market. Now, I'd like to focus on certain subcategories as to why these costs are hidden, but they do affect the bottom line in very significant ways that are typically not thought about by unethical businesses. The first being reputation degradation. Now, we all have different companies that we love and trust. We love and trust either their product or their service. We've had good experiences with their customer service over time. Maybe we've had to send a product back because it wasn't exactly what we thought, and they helped us more than we would have expected. This is what builds a company's reputation over time, and that can take years and years. But we know from experience in watching companies throughout time that it only takes one bad, unethical decision for companies and customers and vendors to run from them and never return. A company can lose its reputation in as little as one night. And so this is why it is extremely important, first and foremost, for companies to act ethically so that they can keep their reputation, which has been so hard-earned, intact and to be able to survive. If their employees or management that are acting in an unethical or dishonest way, that company should remove them as quickly as possible to be able to try to regain faith in the market. Once customers know or have seen unethical behavior within a company, they typically assume that that's how the whole organization is run. So sometimes it's necessary to remove all of management or everybody associated with that unethical behavior to try to win customers back, but they'll always be having an uphill battle in that case. The second subcategory I'd like to talk about is the potential mismatch between employees and the organization. Good and honest, hardworking employees do not feel good in an unethical organization. They will become absent more by being sick. They won't show up to work a lot. They will not be as productive because they know that their good hard work is not going to be recognized in the company. And they're going to leave the company, typically for that company's competitors. So long term, the unethical company is undertreating their most valuable resource, which is its people, and that will always hurt that company. Once those good, hardworking employees start leaving more and more quickly, they take the knowledge and good processes with them that would have helped that company grow and prosper in the long term. The problem is some employees will, in put under circumstances of having a company act unethically, they will turn to the unethical side and will become more of a risk and a detriment to that company because they will begin to make decisions that they should definitely not be making and will hurt the company for sure in the long term. The last subcategory I wanted to talk about is how a customer or a company will put increased security measures within their company. This creates a mismatch between the management and the employees. If an employee feels watched all the time, if they feel like someone's watching over their shoulder, especially if they're a good, hardworking employee, they're going to become anxious and they're going to be overly stressed. That will lead to unproductivity. They won't be able to capture the gains that they would normally capture, and they may not act in the way that they would normally act, which is why you hired them. You hired them because they were confident, hardworking people, and if they're scared to be able to make decisions, scared to make good choices, they're not going to be able to do what you want them to do, which will affect the bottom line because you're not going to be seeing the gains that they would normally bring the company. So these are just a few of the many reasons a company should avoid acting dishonest or unethical. It will always affect the bottom line and stop that company from being able to have gains in the long term. and eventually will wreck the company. Thank you for your time.